Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the studio. This evening's performance is going to be recorded and live streamed, so at this time I'd like to invite you to set your mobile device to stun, or turn it all the way off, if you would please. Thanks very much.
Right, thank you guys all so much for coming out tonight. Tonight's program is called Duets, so it's an all-duet recital with clarinet and a bunch of other different instruments. So you're going to hear some really good music. You're going to hear some really good players tonight, too, as well. The first piece we're going to play in the program is the Duels for Flute and Clarinet by Robert Minczynski. And this piece was originally written as a flute duet back in the 70s, and about 20 years later, it was adapted for flute and clarinet. It's got 6 short movements, goes slow, fast, slow, fast, slow, fast. And this will feature Dr. Jenna Dahm, our flute professor on flute. So as I was looking for pieces for this recital, last recital I played a piece by a composer named Daniel Dorff, I wrote a bass clarinet piece, and he also writes a lot of stuff, a lot of duets, especially for clarinet and flute. So I decided I would try to go and see if there'd be any good duets on there. And I was going down the list, and I found a piece on there for clarinet and English horn, which is quite unusual duet combination. There's very few duets out there written for this instrumentation. So I contacted them about that because the music wasn't available or anything like that. I couldn't buy it anywhere. So I contacted him directly about it. The piece they're about to play was premiered back in September, and this is only going to be the second performance that's ever been done of this piece. And Daniel also said that he was going to watch the live stream and send lots of emojis, so everyone can wave and say hi, Daniel, at the end there too as well. So it's a really cute, perky little piece. It's supposed to depict being on a beach. And the last movement has a very bizarre title. It's called The Bee and the Horseshoe Crab, and it's supposed to depict like beach hazards all the way throughout. You'll hear like a buzzing sound for the bee, and then kind of a slower kind of horseshoe crab all the way throughout here too as well. So really neat little piece. This is Hot Spots for English Horn and Clarinet by Daniel Dorff, and this features our oboe professor, Dr. Rachel Messing, on English horn. So we're going to play a clarinet tuba duet. Yes, they do exist. So the piece we're going to play is actually this entire recital was kind of, the whole idea for the recital came upon the piece we're about to play here. So about a year and a half ago, Kevin and I read through the piece we're about to play for you. A a little bit, and always kind of stuck in the back of my mind as a piece that I wanted to do for recital. And one of the things I'd like to do with recitals is I'd like to come up with themes for the recitals. I think it just makes the recitals a little more interesting and a little more fun too as well. And so I was trying to think of a good way to incorporate this piece and do a theme around that. And so since the piece is called Little Sweet for Winter, I thought maybe a winter's theme recital would be good. And I couldn't really think of anything else besides this piece that fit that really well. So I thought, okay, let's do it like a season theme. I couldn't think of anything. So I was just stumped. I was stumped all the way throughout. And so then, as people who know me can attest to, whenever I have an idea, it's a very, very bad thing. So I had this crazy idea that, okay, let's do an all-duet recital. And I thought in the back of my mind, there's absolutely no way this is going to work. To get first of all, to get six people here on the same night, to find a time that the recording studio is available, to find a time when there's not like a pep band event or something else going on. And by some minor miracle, I prayed to the patron saint of scheduling. We found a way to get it done. So anyway, the piece we're going to play for you is it's by a composer whose name is Peter Schickele. He's also known by the moniker of PDQ Bach for some of his pieces too as well. And his compositions are humorous and very kind of satirical. And you can already tell it's kind of humorous because it's a clarinet and a tuba, for crying out loud. All right. PDQ Bach, if you've never heard of him, he writes a lot of comedy stuff. Some of the names of some of the pieces he's written he's written a piece called the 1712 Overture, Fanfare for the Common Cold. The list goes on and on and on. And then he has his Peter Schickele. He does compositions by his actual name too as well, and they're a little bit more legit, but there's a lot of humor in this piece too as well. So it's a 5-movement piece. You're going to hear the first movement has just this rolling long part that kind of gets changed just a little bit every single time. There's a clarinet cadenza, and there's an incredibly long, incredibly boring tuba cadenza you're going to hear a little bit here too as well. That has a blues piece that's really it's a strange piece altogether. It's kind of got between the tuba and the clarinet some really kind of weird stuff that each one of us gets a chance to kind of take over a little bit. It's got the weirdest lullaby you'll ever hear for the third movement. Fourth movement's got a rondo where it goes back and forth between like a bunch of different ideas, including a really strange waltz that doesn't quite line up anywhere in there. And then it ends with the fifth movement, which is called traveling music, which is basically about 20 seconds long, and it's basically like, basically we're walking out the door is what it is. So anyway, so enjoy the experience of Little Sweet for Winter by Peter Schickele. It features our tuba professor, Kevin Bach.
This is the piece that we needed 2 stands for. It was our piece for sure. We'll be turning many pages. Sometimes arbitrarily, sometimes necessarily. You'll have to figure out when, though. I'm good. All right. It's not too wild.
Is there like...
Which part? This one? The last one in particular? Or?
No, it was like... I don't want to make it out of order.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's all out of order right now anyway. Which movement?
I don't... It was like third to last one.
Oh, the soft one? The lullaby? Probably not that one, right?
I think it was...
This is the pretty gnarly one. The second one is pretty crazy too. No, well the third,
I think it was the one
before the lullaby. Yeah, the second one. Oh, the blues one. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, this is the one that's like across all the pages. Yeah, it's all this. The hardest part about all this stuff too is like all the wild time signature stuff that is like not even written in. Where it's just like, and now it just goes to that. You know?
What? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah. That's why we simplified.
I figured.
Yeah, what? There aren't any. No, we did all of that. Yeah, this is what I have on my page. This is Tim's cadenza. It looks like this.
Mark it up.
That's Tim's cadenza. Nothing on there. So we had to come up with. I saw where the breathing points were, so it's all good. You gotta understand. A part of that too is like this way you have to play a lot, so you know what you can just do that stuff. You're like, oh, really? Baller.
The second line version.
Oh, good.
Not the second line. It's the second line.
Yeah. Awesome.
so cool.
I'll find it again later. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Just checking it out.
I got an intramural basket. I'm going to go drop 30 points.
Go drop 30 points. Just don't pull this thing and slip on that. Oh, yeah, really.
So the next piece in the program is by a composer named Eric Mandet, and I've done several pieces by Eric Mandet before in recitals before. He teaches clarinet at Southern Illinois University, and he also plays a lot of his own music. And his music is very heavy on extended techniques for the clarinet. So I know most of his pieces. I went to school at Arizona State and studied with Robert Spring, and he had us play his pieces all the time. As I was looking pieces up for this recital, I came across the next piece in the program, which is called Ritual, and I thought I heard all of his music, and somehow this one slipped through the cracks a little bit. And as I listened to it, it was not his typical piece. It was a really nice piece, really beautiful piece, a lot of good harmonies between the instruments. And this wasn't the piece I was originally expecting to add to the program tonight, but I heard it and I really liked it. And so the first person that I thought of to play this piece was Grace. And I wanted to also tonight, on top of having a bunch of faculty play on this I wanted to bring an alumni back too as well. So Grace graduated from here in 2017. She was principal clarinet of the wind ensemble the entire time she was here. She was a featured soloist with the GC Wind Ensemble and the jazz band, and we played in the Canadian Symphony together for a couple of gigs. And as soon as I brought this idea up, she jumped at the chance for it, and it's been a lot of fun putting together. And it's a huge thrill for me tonight to play with a former student tonight too as well. So this is Ritual by Eric Mandet. This is featuring Grace Bowman. Next piece in the program is by a composer named Jonathan Russell, and I've played quite a few of his pieces too as well. As I was searching through his website and checking out all of his works, I came across this piece, and this was a really, really cool piece, and this is actually the first time I've ever done a clarinet guitar duet too as well, so this is really, really fun for me to do. I wanted to read what he wrote about this piece because it's really, really interesting. So it says about the piece, which is called Night Dance. Night Dance is a brief evocative work for clarinet and guitar. There is no specific program, but its circling melodic cells, subtly shifting rhythmic grooves, and undulating harmonies evoke for me mysterious nocturnal creatures scurrying and dancing through an enchanted night forest. The seamless integration of improvisation and notated music in this piece makes the performing musician's own intuition and creativity an integral component of the work. So you're going to hear a lot of rhythmic grooves all the way throughout here. You're also going to hear, I got a little improv section going in the middle of this too as well. Really, really, really fun piece. And this is Night Dance by Jonathan Russell. It features our guitar professor, Dr. Jonathan Chrisman. So before we play the last piece, a couple of people I want to thank. First of all, I want to thank Eric Johnson and John Majunkin and everyone here at the GC Recording Studio for letting us use this beautiful facility this evening. Thank you, John. I want to say a special thanks to GCU TV. We are live streaming this recital tonight. First time we've done this before, so that's what that big camera is back up there. So. And I want to say a special thank you to everyone who performed this recital tonight. As you can kind of hear, this has been a really fun recital for me to play in because these guys are really good. They're really, 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 really good. So I want to thank all the faculty I got a chance to perform with. I want to thank Dr. Janet Dom on flute. I want to thank Dr. Rachel Messing on English horn. The one, the only Kevin Bach on tuba. Dr. Jonathan Crispin on guitar. I think he's back in the room there still. And I'm with Dr. Scott Zimmer on saxophone, which you hear in a second. And I want to say an incredible special thank you to Grace Bowman for coming back to join me tonight, too, as well. And thank you guys all for coming tonight. As soon as we finish the last piece, we're going to have a reception out in the lobby, so hopefully you guys can all stick around for that. I think I picked the appropriate piece to end this recital with. This piece is by a composer named Gregory Monemaker, and it's called Duo Sonata. And it is about 10 minutes of chaos, is what it is. It's funny, when Scott and I were working on this a few weeks ago, Scott, after we rehearsed it for us, Scott just turned to me and said, "Are you trying to haze the new guy here or something like that?" So it's a 4-movement work. It's very virtuosic work. The first movement is called Departure, and it's just got a billion notes for both of us all the way through here too as well. Has a really, really beautiful second movement called Elegy that was actually written after the attacks on September 11th. So it's and it uses the harmonics between the saxophone and the clarinet beautifully in that movement. The short scherzo movement where it's very, very short, a very, very minimalistic movement where we do a lot. It just moves, and doesn't stop anywhere in there. And then we have the Arrival movement, which is a really cool funk movement that is incredibly, incredibly difficult to play. That has really been kicking our butts really, really good the last couple of weeks. So, it's awesome to play. He uses he composes the piece, he uses the colors of the clarinet and saxophone really, really well. It's not a combination that's actually used very often, believe it or not, in duets. So, and I have a great saxophonist to play with this. So this is Duo Sonata by Gregory Monemaker. This features Dr. Scott Zimmer on alto saxophone.
Yeah.
You guys want one more? Yeah. So, so I thought it would be really appropriate to end this recital if I played a duet with myself. So, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play another Ariel Mandat piece for you. This is the first movement of a piece called Double Life, and I played this a couple years ago at the recital here a couple years ago. So it is a duet with myself. So I have an A clarinet right here that is, if you look really closely, is corked up a little bit. So I can play right hand notes only. I can only play right hand notes on the A clarinet. I can play left hand notes on the B flat clarinet. So I'm going to play back and forth, and you're going to see me play two clarinets at the same time. It looks very weird. All right. So I thought this would be a really appropriate way to end the recital. This is the first movement of Double Life, which is called Double Life by Eric Mandat.
Bye.